You know, let me just get my act together here. If you had watched the video that started all this a couple of weeks ago, you would understand. I I made this big fuss because I started with book 23 and I hated it because there was all this catch up in the beginning, and you don't start a series at book 23. You start a series at book 1. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy schmancy stuff going on here. But anyways, so I hated it. But see, and the problem is I like books from this time period. I like the catch up. I like the characters getting together. I like that information. I like the mystery. I like the detectiving. I like the investigation. So it bothered me immensely that I didn't like that book. And I was halfway through my review and I realized, numbskull, you don't start a book on 23. You start it with 1. So I started on 1 and it took some time to get through it. And then I did book 2, and then I did book 3, and then I did book 4. This is book 5. And I did start keeping track of the characters. I had about 15 down. There's about 40 or so every book. But now that I'm getting more and more into the series, I'm getting to know the people more and more. And I really didn't keep track of too many of the characters this time around. We have your core group. And that's basically, so these people will, as far as I know, these people will never be your bad guys. You have Ursula, the Queen's presence lady, or whatever she's called, and Sir William Cecil, he's like the head secretary. Dudley, I'm a little iffy about, but he's the master of the horses. Dale and Broccoli, her servants, her lady's maid and her manservant. Rob Henderson and his wife Maddie. Meg, her daughter, of course. And there's a few others. So that's like your core group. And she, for her last mission, the Queen gave her back with thighs mane. Don't ask me. I didn't read. It's written someplace. So the Queen gave her this house, and she's it was Matthew had started it, but because he's in France and an enemy of the Queen's and really not allowed to come back, the Queen gave it to her. And she's been out there fixing it and hanging out with Meg. First time in like years, she's spending quality time with her kid and hanging out. So then she gets a note. She's supposed to go meet with the Queen in a month or so. And all of a sudden she gets this note that she needs to come sooner. So I never looked it up. If somebody wants to look it up for me, look it up for me. A harbinger. So they decided that it was suggested because, all right, let me see how I put this. She wasn't originally supposed to go to the Queen until much later, but because of an incident occurring, they've decided that Ursula needs to go with the advance group, the Harbingers, to make sure that everything is in preparation for the Queen. And, but then Cecil says, Sylvia, we got this thing going. We want you to check it out. So she goes to this town, and the book starts with the death of Thomas Shore. And Ursula is like, she knows him, she feels bad for him, she gives him a kiss on the forehead. For her. And we discover, then the book jumps to the past. And it jumps to the past of Ursula getting requested to go to this town sooner to make sure things are in order for the queen. There's also supposed to be the college. It's a college town, and there's going to be a fake sword playing going on. A lady has been selected from the town, and it turns out she's not from the town proper. She's like from the outskirts of town. She's not part of town. And she's supposed to present the queen with flowers, and it's all supposed to be nice. However, one of the college kids, Thomas Shore, there's something not quite right here. So he makes an appointment to meet with Ursula, and Ursula, and so because she couldn't meet with him so early, see, wait a minute, let me back up here. So, I did all that. So, I'm not going to worry about the court stuff either. We did that already. We talked about the message. So, she goes and she ends up deciding to pretend to work at a pie shop. And she's to work at the pie shop to get more information on what's going on with this play thing, with the flower thing. So she goes in pretending to be an ordinary woman, not the queen's woman or anything. She wears plain clothes. She goes to work with this guy, Jester. And that's where she encounters Thomas, and that's why she can't meet him at 5 o'clock in the morning because she's got to be at the pie shop. I think she just should have ran that. Of course, it was a plot thing. Yes, I get it. It was a plot thing. So, but before she can meet with him at 3 p.m., he gets killed. And it's in that meantime that she discovers that Ambrosia, the daughter of the pie shop owner, was in love with Thomas and had planned to marry said Thomas. And her father was highly, highly, highly against it. We also find out that her mother ran off because the father beat her. So, I guess I should have said earlier, and I forgot, spoilers, I don't tell you how the book ends, but, I do spoil a lot of the characterizations. So, she goes to this place, she pretends to be the pie lady, and there are so many times, and this is why I think the series is growing on me, because I'm screaming at, they're like, no, Ursula, leave, Ursula, get out now, Ursula, go, just go tell this woman, just go, but she's like, oh, I can't, because I gotta do this, and I gotta do that, and I'm just like, Ursula, go. So that's the sign of a good book when you start screaming. That you've gotten into the series, and when you start going, no, Ursula, no, Ursula, no, go warn this woman. And she has Fran, or Dale, however you want to refer to her, take a note. She goes in, she gets the note, she has some things, she goes to the place where all the court people are going, and this woman's like, when she goes in her pie outfit, she's like, you're an ordinary woman, you don't belong in here. And she's like, no, I'm Mrs. Ursula, blah, blah, blah. And she's screaming and yelling, and somebody finally comes by and goes, oh yeah, she's here, she's one of us. She's working undercover. So, and she talks to Fran into giving the message to the lady, and Fran thinks that Ursula is sleeping with her husband. Again, it's like every book, there's at least one instance where Fran is accusing Ursula and Broccoli getting together, and they're not. They're just exchanging information because they're working undercover. But Fran's got this little jealousy thing going because her husband's he goes to work undercover too for this guy. So she's working undercover all this time, and she discovers that Ambrosia is the shop owner's daughter, and she discovers that Ursula's mom ran away 5 years ago because the husband was beating her, and she ran away. And a couple of years passed before Ursula found out that her mother was still alive. Got an itch. So it was determined at a later date, and I'm probably going out of order here, but that the father and the mother, he was an artist, and she fell in love with him, and she wanted to marry him, and her parents were, all right, but we really don't like him, but go ahead. So she marries him, and the father buys the land and he builds the houses and he makes a few dollars and he lets the son Jester run it, but he has to live there for company. Once he dies, he leaves leaves a little bit of money, but it's in trust to Ambrosia's kids. Nobody gets a hold of it until Ambrosia marries and has children. And if she doesn't do that, then it goes to a distant cousin. So the father gets massively pissed and he starts beating the wife because it's her fault that her father didn't leave him the money. He wanted the money. So the wife has run off and she's been gone for 5 years. And it also turns out that this other guy that's involved with Court happens to be Jester's half brother. And it's all explained in the book, the relationship. And he discovered where Jester's wife's been hiding for the last 5 years. And the two brothers decide that, I'm not sure how it worked out, but they somehow maybe it was Woodford suggested it. The one brother suggested that this Miss Smith's son, who is Jester's wife, aka Miss Smith's son, get used to be the one to give the flowers to the queen, and they're also going to have this fake sword fight. And everybody's like, no. But the queen's like, oh, I like it. So they were going to do it, and that's why they were investigating all this stuff. And they determined that not only was there going to be a fake sword fight, but at some point in time, the lady presenting the flowers to the queen was going to be kidnapped. Because she's Jester's wife and Jester wants his wife back. So, Ursula's finding all this stuff out, and I'm sitting there going, Ursula, no, Ursula, no, Ursula, no, Ursula, don't do this, Ursula, don't do this. And then, of course, she finally finds Fran, or Dale, to get the message out, and Dale is upset with Ursula because she thinks she's messing with the husband, so she doesn't take the message. And the message never gets there. And Ursula has a cow and a half, and she has it out with Fran. Go, look, there is nothing going on with us. We're a platonic relationship. Absolutely. He was helping me with this case, blah, 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 blah. And Fran is like, oh, all right. I believe you now. But now they really need to get the message to this woman because her life is in danger. And then they uncover an additional plot. An additional plot of mayhem. This is a multi-layered thing. And they need to find out, it's not addressed until towards the end of the book, why Thomas was killed, why he had to die, and who killed him. That's like towards the end of the book. But most of the plot, every couple of chapters, she gets another little snippet. Jester is cruel as a shopkeeper. He gets angry. He has a hot temper. And I'm not sure about Ambrosia because I was with her until towards the end when she turned tide. And that kind of bothered me that she turned on Ursula like she did. That really, really bothered the heck out of me that she did that she turned on Ursula like that. But there turns out to be, not only is there they call it the playlet. I have no idea why. The sword fighting and the fake kidnapping. And it turns out there was also possibly an assassination attempt, but not on the queen, on somebody else. So we have all this going on. The Ursula investigating the sword fighting and the kidnapping. She gets really upset about that. She has to delve into it. She has to get more proof on that. Also, they're investigating Jester and his half-brother Woodford, and they're trying to figure out what their thing is. It takes almost to the very end of the book for that little twisty-turny to be revealed there. And Ursula, the daughter, I'm a little upset with her behavior at the end of the book. She's got too many excuses. I was not pleased with that. So it shows that these books are growing on me, that I'm getting very emotionally involved and screaming at Ursula And there is also a sad note at the very, 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 very end that I'll leave you to find out about Ursula's sort of kind of future, kind of, sort of, kind of, sort of. But so it was good. I read it faster than the previous one, so I'm getting into it. And you just have to worry about Cecil was sick a little bit. He's got the gout. He needs to get that fixed. He needs to eat more properly. Um, but and Henderson at some point gets sick, and I'm a little miffed at Henderson because he leaves his wife at home, like 9 months along, and she's gonna give birth any minute, and he doesn't. And I'm a little concerned that he doesn't find out till 2 weeks after the kid was born that the kid was born. So that's a little disheartening, but I guess it's the time frame here. But Ursula going undercover like she did was just good grief. And there's a little bit of a, I don't know, cliffhanger or coming attractions in the book for the next book. A Pawn for a Queen. So there you go. You're gonna have to check it out. Queen of Ambition. Like I said, poor Thomas, you find out the reason for his murder at the end of the book. I'm not sure about Ambrosia's motives in all this. Jester and Woodford have a couple of different plans going on there. It's very multi-layered. Then there's a twisty turny at the end that gives someone like a oh good god no thing. So we'll see what happens there with that person. Um, I'm used to that person being a really, really horrible, nasty guy in my Sky O'Malley series. If you like these books, go check out my Sky O'Malley, Beatrice Small's Sky O'Malley. You got to start with Sky O'Malley, and I think it's All Sweet Tomorrow's second book, or it might not. It might be the third book, but go check out that series, especially the first 7 books. It takes Sky O'Malley's entire life, the 7 books, and then it goes on with her kids and grandkids. But just the first 7 books, the core group is good. So if you like these, go check that out. And I also did an if then on all of those. If you like Outlander too, then these books are good for you and the Sky O'Malley. So that's what I was saying. I really like this kind of books, and I was really pissed off at myself that I didn't like book 23. So we will eventually get back to read 23 and revisit it at a later date. So look forward to A Pawn for a Queen in a couple of days, and have a good one. Oh well, no co-host tonight. They're sleeping. Have a good one.